everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Birdie Golf Club podcast. And I feel pretty worn out from from a quite incredible Sunday after what was seemingly just going to be a coast to victory, perhaps a historic points victory, but it didn't quite pan out that way, and it was a very, very interesting Ryder Cup to watch. And I know, loyal listeners of the show, the first thing they're going to wonder is, did I have a good time at Legoland? And yeah, I did. It was great. The kids enjoyed it. They absolutely loved it. I was thinking about the Ryder Cup a little bit. Of course I was. But it was a great time, and the kids loved all the surprises and staying in the Legoland resort. It was just a very special little family memory. So on that front, a very, very exciting weekend. But this is a golf podcast, not a Legoland / family family story podcast, I guess, in some way. So getting back to the golf, watched pretty much all of Friday. Went and played golf in the morning. Got an eagle on the 18th at Seaford Head. That was nice. That felt like a good start. And then the good times just kind of kept rolling, didn't they? A truly dominant performance from Europe for 2 days. Winning every session. It seemed like there was just no respite for the US throughout that time. It felt like it didn't go like a 20-minute stretch where it was just, oh, okay, US are back in it. It was literally maybe like a couple of minutes of they hole apart, maybe bring back a match from being 2 up to Europe back to 1 up, and you sort of think, okay, well, the couple of holes go their way here and there, and it just never transpired like that, did it? It was very interesting. Europe had an answer for everything the US threw at them. I thought there were kind of some pretty key misses on that front when it came to what the US did. And we can get to that in a minute. I was just going to say that later on in this episode, we've had a lot of I would say disappointing news in the golf world throughout this weekend, throughout the Ryder Cup. What happened with fans, the abuse that some of the players suffered, which didn't feel in keeping with the traditions and with the game of golf. But later on in this episode, we've got a real heartwarming person, really, with a heartwarming story. So stay tuned for after my sort of little monologue about the Ryder Cup, which you may or may not be interested in. If you're not interested, skip ahead, because later on we've got Isaac Styles, who is doing incredible work in Uganda, spreading the game of golf with limited resources to as many children as he possibly can in that area, and supplying them with essential needs for their life: food, shelter, things like that. So all of this stuff about the Ryder Cup is just that. It was a game played. That's all it was. But the game of golf can mean and do so much more. So stay tuned for what Isaac has to say later. I know you're going to find it a touching story. So please make sure you do stay tuned for all my maybe daft hot takes that I have after this Ryder Cup. But I know through last week's episode, obviously speaking to Dan and speaking to Dave, that there was a feeling that this was going to be a close Ryder Cup, and as events transpired, it actually ended up being exactly that. But I sensed that there was this overarching feeling that Bryson was going to be a talisman for this team. Now, Sunday, maybe we can push Sunday aside, because it was desperation that caused that for the US on the Sunday, for them fighting back the way they did. And all credit to them for the way they came at it, that team. They went out and played those singles matches like their lives depended on it, and that very much came across. And the Europeans, quite honestly, looked absolutely shattered from the 2 days before. And it ended up being a very, very close thing, a scary close thing, really, after, literally needing 2 points at the start of play because of Victor Hovland's neck. He got half in that one, and you're thinking, well, this is a breeze. And the way it started as well, I think 5 up in 6 matches. You had Matty Fitz literally 5 up through 6 holes against Bryson, and you're just thinking, well, this is done, and it's going to end up being, I don't know, 21-7 or no, wait a minute, 21-7. That was good maths. 28 points available, and you could only see it going one way. Now, I actually thought the fans on Sunday were clearly better behaved than the fans on the Friday and Saturday. Now, you could say, well, to be fair to those fans on Friday and Saturday, it was a US rollover. Essentially, they rolled over and had their sort of tummy scratched. And that's going to annoy sports fans, which I can understand to a point, and you can understand there maybe being this sort of hum of disapproval and perhaps, jeering, I guess, and even to the point of it being in players' backswings and stuff like that. It's not really in keeping with what golf is, even when things get raucous. There's a respect that comes from the game of golf, and knowing that tips it over the edge of being supportive towards the team you want to win, and then obviously sort of actively trying to distract the team you don't want to win. It just feels like it doesn't need to be spelled out, but maybe that's wrong. Maybe it needed to be spelled out. There was clearly some things that were completely out of line. People lost their jobs. One person in particular, the announcer, lost the job for the things she was getting the crowd to do. I know that came from a bit of pressure because they weren't liking the chants that they were trying to come up with. And it was disappointing. I think I saw Mark Crossfield made the point that there were children in those stands, and I think sometimes people can get swept up in you're there to put off the other team as much as you possibly can, which is obviously true in a sense, but also remembering what the game of golf is and the fact that it's inclusive to all ages, and is that something you really want to see? I think Rory said that golf should be held to a higher standard. And obviously you do see it week in, week out of football grounds. But then football's not held to that high standard that golf is. And I think Rory is right in that way. I think that's very much what we talk about in this podcast pretty much week in, week out, is traditions versus accessibility. And if you lose traditions, if you lose what the game of golf is about, in essence, then just to make way for accessibility and for it to be part of modern sports, then maybe in a sense you're going to end up with more scenes like what happened at Bethpage. Now, in general, these things do get blown out of proportion because the minority are louder than the majority. And I think in general the US fans were fine, and they were upset they weren't winning. But you can't have things like drinks thrown at wives of the players, the personal insults, the personal abuse that some of the players suffered, to the point where, to be honest, I mean, Rory bit back quite a few times, which, if you're looking from a media PR standpoint, probably not the best thing to do, because then is it a pot kettle situation? But you can understand it. The guy endured hundreds of people shouting things at him, with his wife present, with probably members of his family, teammates, wives there, teammates there, that you would never expect to hear on a golf course. But they did prepare themselves for this kind of weekend, and the Friday and the Saturday, it was a demolition job. It really was. I mean, getting to the mistakes that I think Keegan made with Team US. I think the course setup, which he has now admitted was a mistake, is a very clear mistake. I actually threw the question out to Scott Fawcett, And I said to him, surely they need to recognise that this whole long hitting assumption that's made about a US team compared to a Europe team just doesn't apply anymore. And in fact, if you make it less penal for the longer you hit the ball, essentially you make the dispersion rate so wide that it doesn't matter. You might as well just have a thrash at it. Then ball speeds are going to be up across the board, and it's just going to be less penal for everyone. And his reply was, the longer the hitter, or basically to suit the longer hitters, then really the more penal it should be for if you miss off target. The rough should be grown up in those areas, and it should be tighter, because okay, you might have a long hitter who hits it off line, but he's going to be playing from the rough X amount closer. But because everyone else isn't that far behind, I mean, probably the furthest behind was, your Russell Henleys, your Colin Morikawas, maybe Harris Englishes. So they're actually not really benefiting from this either. It was just they essentially turned Bethpage into a very easy track for these guys, and that doesn't make a lot of sense in itself. I felt like that was a mistake, and it played out that way because it turned into a birdie fest, and Europe just got way more birdies. And again, that comes down to putting unbelievably well for the first 2 days, and you can't always account for, players like Scotty just not holing as many putts, and that was kind of across the board on that front. I also felt like, Keegan probably wasn't ready for this, and that sort of came through with the amount of analogies he gave for other sports that were almost fairy tale like, really. He spoke a lot about the Eagles comeback with Tom Brady, and it felt like he was grasping at straws a lot. And when you compared the composure between him and Luke Donald, it was night and day. And the players feed off that. You can be as encouraging as you want, but if your players feel like you're grasping at straws and you haven't really got anything super relatable for them, then I think that plays through in performance. And some of the pairings were questionable. I think sending Bryson out first on the first morning, whilst the theatrics were there for him obviously birdieing that first and nearly driving the green, I think then it was just a bit of a lull after that, because that was what all US fans were looking forward to going to that event. They were looking forward to watching Bryson drive the first green. So why wouldn't you make them wait for that? Why wouldn't you build the anticipation for that point? You could have then had, your Scotties going out, another mistake pairing, Morikawa English was just not a good pairing, and to send them out twice was really strange, because they both just got penalised for not hitting the ball a long way. I mean, when you had them against, was it Rory and Tommy, I think, on the first day, it's just game over. Like, it's just a non-event. Colin wasn't playing great golf leading into it. And yeah, it was just interesting. I think just a little bit of complacency, a little bit of thinking you've got it sorted just because a course setup came into play, and that just doesn't really work anymore unless you've got somebody that seems to predict the future in Eduardo Molinari. So there was loads of little events that happened that were pretty fascinating. To cover a few, obviously you had the whole Justin Rose asking, is it Jibo? Is that right? Bryson's caddy to move out the way. Again, it was nothing really. He was perfectly entitled to ask him to move out the way. And Bryson didn't cover himself in glory. I mean, obviously, look, this podcast is partnered with Crank, and I love Crank equipment. And probably I haven't checked the statistics, probably the longest, straightest driver at the Ryder Cup was Crank. So this in no way reflects on Crank or anything they do. My thoughts on it. I thought Bryson for 2.5 days didn't cover himself in glory. Now, his comeback against Fitzpatrick was spectacular. But I think he played a role, and it was a role he wasn't necessarily comfortable with. Now, again, was he pressurised into being this spearhead of the team? Perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. It's cult of personality, isn't it? And he's certainly created that sort of personality for himself. But I just felt it was a bit fake. I felt like he was doing things he felt like he should do rather than actually wanted to do. So, I mean, if you look back at Rosie when he does that, and you look at Bryson, he just tosses his ball up in the air. He looks completely unaffected by that whole thing. You know, Rose just asked him to move out of the way, and then you almost see the cogs turn in his head of like, this is a moment. Now, we've seen flare-up moments before, but it just felt very forced. You know, if he'd have stared down Rose and just walked off onto the other green, that has more impact than shouting at him and doing this whole long thing and then other people getting involved. It actually fizzled out to sort of being nothing after that. I think if you know, in that situation, if you want to stare someone down and head to the next, then that's fair play. But I don't know. I just felt some of the things with Bryson were a bit forced this weekend, and maybe that's not completely his fault. Maybe that's pressure. And to be fair, like I said, that comeback against Matt Fitzpatrick after it looked like it was going to end at 12, you know, the way it was going, was very, very impressive. The whole US team on that last day were brilliant. I thought their shining light was Cam Young. Can't understand why he didn't play more sessions. Should have been the first one out there. Yeah, if you want to get a New York crowd behind you, then surely you send him out there. But didn't. I thought there was just a few mistakes like that. But Cam Young, I thought, was brilliant. Didn't stray too far from his usual persona, and I think that backed up all the things that Dan Frankel said about him last week. Of Cam's just a normal guy who goes out there and is incredibly good at golf. So he gained a fan in me this weekend, that's for sure. I really enjoyed watching him. I thought he played unbelievably well, handled the pressure incredibly well. That's probably a defining moment of his career, let's face it, going out there and playing in front of his home crowd. So handled that brilliantly, obviously. Beat Rose on the last day, played some great golf then as well. Talking about the European team, obviously you had Rasmus was probably the most disappointing player on the team, but you could have predicted that beforehand. Obviously no points for him. Sepp Straka did pretty well. Tyrrell Hatton did well. They all did well. Obviously Tommy was very much the shining light of the team, and you could have seen that beforehand with his form going into the end of the year. There's probably not a better golfer in the world based on form than Tommy Fleetwood right now, and it sets itself up for what could be a huge year for him in 2026, and maybe we could see a major for Tommy, which I think everyone would kind of welcome. But overall, the Ryder Cup was very entertaining, and I think that last day drama definitely helped. I was sitting on the edge of my seat on the sofa thinking, they can't, can they? Which I'm sure most of you were. But thoroughly enjoyed it. Can't wait for it to be at Adair Manor. Would love to be there. I'm going to work hard to try and get there. Maybe as a media invite would be pretty cool. So can only do that with your guys' support. So if you are enjoying the podcast, if you like these little monologues, which I sometimes do, when I don't have somebody to talk to, so I apologise for everyone listening. Then as always, just drop a follow on the episode. Share with your friends. Maybe just send a little share thing. You know, you do the little share things. Send those. Leave a review. Leave a 5-star review if you can, and go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Birdie Golf Club Podcast. But it was great. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thought the level of golf was incredible. And yeah, really good. And hopefully it continues to grow the game. And talking of growing the game, I think we should now throw it to the interview with Isaac, because what he's doing is truly, truly important. You know, weekends like this come and go, but somebody that's willing to put their time and effort in through charitable ways as well, with children that need help, then they deserve all the time in the world. So please listen to this interview with Isaac. Go and check out Isaac Styles on Instagram. Go and show some support. I would love for golf companies to reach out. If you're listening to this and you're from a golf company and you think that you can help with Isaac's work in Uganda, then get in touch with him, because he is a special, special guy. So I hope you enjoy this interview with Isaac Styles. Isaac, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. I listened the other day to the Foreplay podcast and heard your interview on there and your story, and I just thought, I need to get in touch. I need to find out more about you and this amazing work that you're doing. And I noticed when I came across your Instagram page that your highlight thing was love. And I think that just really, really does show through the work that you're doing. So, for the listeners, Isaac, could you maybe just let them know a little bit more about you and about your story and what you're doing currently in Uganda?
I'm so happy to be on this podcast. It's just an honor. I'm Isaac Sekulima from Uganda, Lugazi. My story is a little long, but I will try to make it short. I come from a family of both parents. I do have both parents, but when my journey was just starting, it was my father was a factory worker, and my mother was just a mother at home that just helps us up. And my father was not earning enough. Like being a factory worker, you don't earn enough. So my mother came out with an idea of cooking pancakes and giving them to us, and we sell them around town. And me and my elder brother, we could do this just to keep the family going. It's where we could get our school fees, all the stuff that we're using at home around. And my father had to come in sometimes when the school fees real fail to get. And my brother, as we were walking around, he made some friends. Me, I was still young. So these friends, I discovered the game of golf, and they made plastic bottles and wooden sticks that they call golf clubs. So they started playing golf, and my brother got to meet these guys, and they became his friends, and they started playing golf as them. So as time went on, he got a chance to become now a member in that club called Meta. And as time still continued to go, he became so nice in his game that he got a chance to play in the biggest tournament in our country called Uganda Open. Wow. So when he got that chance to play in that tournament, he said, I want to leave my little brother who we started with. So he called me as his caddy. I didn't even know how to do it. The bag was heavy. I just struggled around with it, but I had to be there. So I went there. Surprisingly, the partner that won that tournament was everything to me. It's where everything started from. So this guy is called Ronald Otile. He patted this part to win the Uganda Open, and it was sick. It was so long, like JJ Spani's putter was so long. It was impossible. I could not believe it. I said that distance is so long, he can't. Then he just made it, and was everything to me. It's where I started to pick interest in the game. I started watching YouTube when I came back home. I built my swing, and when there is a coach, right now he's coaching Stephen Curry. When he came to our club, there was a golf camp, so he spotted me as the best swing. That kept me going, and here I am right now. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And to think it all started really from watching your brother and his friends like just playing with sticks and just trying to learn the game. And now it looks like, Isaac, through the work that you're doing, you're passing on those experiences to youth in your area that wouldn't normally have access to the game. I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Cause, honestly speaking, my starting was this, like the way we are starting with these kids. So my starting was a little kinda, impossible. Like these kids, you see them holding, elder, like adult clubs, and they are struggling with the game, but we have to
Yeah.
still push, because the thing is we need to start. We don't need a lot. We that a lot will come as we continue to do what we are doing. That's all I tell them. I always like say the story of the underdog. It's the real story, because for us, anything we receive at hand, we appreciate it and we look ways of using it. When I started with 4 clubs to teach these kids. I started with only 4 clubs, but I had over like 30 kids that I was teaching. And it was so difficult to me. 1 coach, 4 clubs, it was really difficult. But I could find ways of making it. I told them we should start. Whatever happens, we have to start. So we started. Along the way, I got some person who sent me a club of a set of clubs. I just said I will still use this with the kids. So we now have at least a number of clubs, because right now I think we have more than 15 clubs.
Wow.
So with these can suit the number that I have right now. But yet they are they are adult clubs, sorry, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still I tell them that we should still continue, because even these clubs that we have received them because we started. The world saw us starting. So we are going to still push until our dream comes true. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you watch these kids. There was a little lad who was on your story today, and he had this club which, like you said, is sort of twice as big as it should be for him, really. But he had this lovely little swing, and he was and the thing that you got from it was there was a huge smile on his face. And I think sometimes golf gets so wrapped up in equipment and even at the youth level, like you see all these children now that are going to get fitted for clubs, and there's parents are having to spend thousands of pounds to try and give them everything they need. But is that stripping away the very thing that you could see in that young man's face on your story today, the complete and utter joy of learning the game, and you're bringing that to him, Isaac, which is amazing.
Yeah. The truth is, I will still continue to say this. The underdog story is the real story. When you come from nothing, you have to appreciate everything. I don't need fancy things. I don't need a lot. I told you. He doesn't need a lot. That kid that you have seen on my story today, he doesn't need a lot. He just needs anything to start with. And that's what he has at hand. So he can hit, you people, you have not really experienced these kids playing golf, because we have a very small area for these kids to play. But this kid hits that club very well. Very well. He can hit a golf ball properly.
Yeah.
He has the
Yeah.
swing, he has the talent, and that is all I'm trying to teach them. We are learning in the hardest way, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, to think we have the cheek to complain sometimes when the greens aren't quite running right, and you've got these kids literally playing. Like, I mean, I saw one of your swings it was very funny. You said afterwards golf's a game of, I think it was a game of balance or something like that, and you were hitting out of a puddle with the ball like above your feet. and your legs just went.
I know. It's all about having fun. It's all about having fun sometimes. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think you show that as well through everything that you do and everything like that. Do you have any aims for where you would want your game to get to, Isaac? Obviously, I know you focus so much on others, but have you got any particular sort of aims of where you would like to, if you would like to compete or whatever it may be?
To everyone who is watching, honestly speaking, anyone who is in this game would love to compete, right?
Yeah.
And so do I. I would love to compete, but the same challenges that these kids face, they are the challenges that I face. It's like, me, I won't say that I'm in the best position of my life. That's why I'm helping up people. But it's just that my heart can't accept some things to happen to some people just in my face. Okay, I can't accept seeing some things in my face. I can't see someone suffering in my face. Even though I don't have, I will still try my level best to stand in. So, me too, in my golf career, still I lack a lot of stuff to start with, because
a quick pause to the episode to tell you about today's sponsor, and it's something every golfer should have, Solex. Here's the deal. We all know that we should reapply sunscreen during a round, but who actually wants greasy hands on their clubs? I don't. You don't either. Solex fixes that. It's a sun cream with a built-in applicator, so you can protect your skin without messing up your grip. Just roll it on in between shots, no fuss, no excuses. And it's not just about convenience. Solex partners with the Melanoma Fund, helping raise awareness and fight skin cancer. So you're not only protecting your game, you're protecting yourself for the long term. Here's something special for you. Use code BirdieGolf15 at checkout on solex.live and you'll get 15% off your order. That's BirdieGolf15 for 15% off. So next time you're heading out for 18 holes, don't just pack your tees and balls, pack Solex too. Protect your skin, protect your swing. Now, back to the podcast.
I don't have woods and I don't have a putter. I don't have a golf bag, but put all this to stop because he was asking me like, where do I want my game to go to, or what as a person want to pursue in golf. So actually what I want to pursue in golf, I want to become qualified as a qualified coach. This is the only way I can stand with my foundation in the right way, like when I'm legalized to do what I'm doing. So I want to become qualified in a coach section, and that will be my dream. But I have to first, I was told that the way to do it is I have to play in my country. I have to become a professional in my country. After becoming a professional in my country, I can apply for coaching in maybe UK, USA, South Africa, anywhere. And then I can go there and get those qualifications done. And I become qualified. Yes.
And how simple is the process of you becoming a professional in Uganda? Is that something that's reasonable and fair to do?
Yeah, it is, but it's like someone telling you that I want one day to become no, I want one day to play in the Masters. So
Mm.
there is grind there. You need to
Yes,
grind in there. Yeah, you
that's all
need
of
to
our dream.
grind in there.
That's every golfer's dream, right?
Yes, yes.
I just want to
So
go there. I don't even mind not hitting a club. I just want to go.
yeah, I have even a bunch of friends who have applied for so long that, but
Yeah,
they have not got the chance. So it's truly a
yeah.
dream for everyone. Yeah.
And I understand there's some opportunities for you coming up as well. With I know Barstool reached out about the Internet Invitational and getting you over there to play in that. It didn't work out for this one, did it? But it looks like from the way they're talking, they're determined to get you over for the next one, Isaac, which is got to be an amazing experience, right? That you got to be looking forward to.
Yeah, it's it's everything to me because you know, me, the reason why even it went wrong that side, me, I didn't even believe that I can one day travel to another country. I've never traveled anywhere in this world. So I had to gather my passport, I had to gather my visas, all that stuff in just like 1 month. So it was really tough for me.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's everything for me to fly to the United States and play with these guys because they are the masterminds of this game. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
really need to meet them. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that's going to happen. And what a moment that would be for all the kids that you're teaching and everything like that as well, to see, like, wait a minute, Sekulima Isaac has gone to the United States and played golf. He ended up winning the thing. For the
Let's
and there we go.
go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's just do it. There's a decent bit of money at stake, I think, Isaac. So
That would be like, it's like getting a golden buzzer.
yes, yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's a shock. It's a shock. You
yeah,
need to just collapse in there. That's
yeah.
it.
Well,
Cause
I'm going to be
it's
rooting
really,
for that.
really, really impressive. Thank
I'm going to
thank
be
you
rooting
so
for that to
much.
happen. No, because
Thank you.
it's part of the. I mean, the word creator is used a lot nowadays, but you're literally creating an environment for these children. I mean, I saw there was you spoke of these 3 children that had lost their parents, and that your
Yeah.
foundation is working to provide them support to make sure they stay in school, but also obviously to give them an outlet through the game of golf. And you know, golf content and creation and everything does amazing things and provides people with entertainment and does amazing charity work and everything like that. But you're literally on the front lines of creating opportunities for these children for a moment pick up a golf club, and they're never going to forget about the things that have happened to them, obviously, but you're giving them a moment to be able to just escape and discover and learn. And for that, Isaac, you deserve all the opportunities in the world. Let me tell you, honestly,
Thank thank you,
honestly.
brother. Thank you so much.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I've really worked with these kids for ever since the foundation started. Cause our first meeting with this kid, it was that boy. We met
mm,
this boy at school. Everyone was bullying him. We had visited this school to give them books, pencils, and okay, scholastic. But
mm,
unfortunately, my eye landed on this boy. He was bullied. So I asked him, like, what's really wrong with you? He was
mm,
like, it's really tough home. I lost both parents. Um, I study here. They allowed me to come in class, but I'm not allowed to sit final exams, and I don't get results, So he goes to school, is growing up, but is not moving in classes. So I was really shocked about this. I even commented on that post that most of you know these guys, because it's not my first time to post them. These are becoming like my family, my second family, because they don't have parents. So I, for the first time, I posted my manager supported him. He paid for him school fees. But then I didn't know that he has sisters. So I got to find out he has sisters, and they were going still in the same kind of trouble. So I just went home, met their grandmother, because they are staying with their grandmother. They explained to me everything, like even clothes that they put on, shoes in the feet, and, like the reason why they boo them because they don't look like them, right? So I tried to buy them some stuff just to look and fit as the kids around the community, right? So yeah, that's a little bit of their story, but they are amazing kids, very respectable, and they are talented because I teach them golf and they are improving at a very high speed. So I'm looking
Amazing.
forward to stand with them more and more and more. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know you said, Isaac, these kids don't need a huge amount of equipment to enjoy the game, but I know you spoke to it slightly that you could do with, obviously you could do with help with bringing these children the game in the terms of an ideal setup from what you can possibly do. And you spoke to a structure. You said we need a structure. What, if you could maybe just expand on that a little bit? What would be your, if you were to look maybe back in a year from now, what kind of structure would be great to be able to teach these kids even better and have even more enjoyable time teaching them the game of golf?
The structure that I'm looking to is I want to get people are telling me to build a golf course, which is really expensive to do
Yeah,
it,
it's a lot. Yeah.
but we can start up something that is close to a golf course, but literally helping these kids so much. So I'm in my dreams. I have maybe like in my dreams I have a house that where these kids can stay over, right? Because some of them, like I told you, these ones are staying with their grandmother, and these kids really walk long distances to go home. They walk through bushes, and sometimes you can extend lessons till late. So we build them a house where they can call home first, and outside home we are looking to set up a range ground where they can fire their golf balls, and where we can carry on the lessons. And I'm not really looking at golf only because I love talent, every talent. I'm right now putting on Eagles. These ones are playing American football. So I support a lot of talents. So in this community of ours, or this house of ours, we'll have a bunch of games like basketball, football. Yeah, it will be a home of very many games for these kids. And yeah, that's some kind of a vision of the house the building that I talked about. Yeah.
That's perfect. I mean, when you said structure, I just thought, you mean like an under shelter range or something, but the idea of a sanctuary for these kids to be able to go to and to enjoy not only golf but all different sports. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, Isaac, that you had an unbelievably good idea, and that it's something that doesn't just benefit a few; it benefits everyone. You know, that would be an amazing thing. And I think if anyone's listening to this podcast and they think they can help out in any way, is the best way to reach out to you, Isaac, to do so through Instagram, Isaac Styles Golf, and the foundation as well. Is that the best way?
Sorry.
Is it the best way for someone to reach out to you, to message you on Instagram if they can help, sort of in any way to help you achieve this dream? Is that the best way to contact you?
Okay. Right now, I have a team. I do have my manager called Johnny Pipeline. Is my manager. So for anything related to finances, all that, he will carry on. Cause me, I live in Uganda. Like things of cash and all that stuff, it's really tough for people to send over money. But he is in US, so he can work with that. And, he has been behind all this that you are seeing. It's hard for me to do it. As I told you, even myself, I'm not that well, but he has bought my vision and he has said, Isaac, I'm going to stand with you no matter what. And this is where I am, but I'm here just because of him. So for anyone who wants to wish me good, we have a bunch of kids that we are paying for school fees. We have like a number of like 10 kids that we are paying for school fees. We feed these kids every week, every Sunday, and we receive sometimes cases of kids coming to us and they are like, sometimes they are sick and their parents can't do it. So the foundation finds like those emergencies. So for anyone who wishes to support us with this cause, and it's not yet official for us to open up accounts that everything will be run from. But for now, anyone who wishes to stand, you can reach out to Johnny Pipeline and he can do everything just to let your funds reach me. And I will thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Amazing. What I'll do is, Isaac, in the show notes for this episode, I'll tag in Johnny Pipeline, and also obviously all your Instagram handle and everything as well, so people can reach out and you can organise things from there, because you'll be better at organising things than I will. But honestly, Isaac, I just wanted to speak to you. I was blown away by the work that you were doing. I love the game of golf. I'm fortunate to be able to play the game, in the UK, where it's very easy for my son has played the game since he was 18 months old, and I've played the game since I was young, and it's so easy for us to do it that I think sometimes we take it for granted. But hearing your story and how you're struggling to play the game sometimes, but even past that, you've then created a whole opportunity for so many children to be able to play the game, for you to be able to support them outside of the game, and you've taken that work, to an amazing level, Isaac. So you deserve all the support that your foundation can get, and so do those children as well. So thank you so much for joining me, Isaac. I really do appreciate it.
I appreciate you, my brother. Such a pleasure to come on this podcast. For everyone that is watching, it's really a complete blessing. I know I have a bunch of friends in the UK I just want to send my greetings to everyone in the UK. A bunch of people who promised me to play with them when I come to UK, and hopefully very soon when I come to UK, I'll be shouting out to everyone that is around to have a game with you guys. And yeah, so honored to be here with him. Yeah.
Absolutely, Isaac. If you get over to the UK, we'll organise an incredible golf day and try and raise a huge amount of money for your work over in Uganda as well. Let's make that a guarantee if we can get that set up when you come over.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Isaac. Have a lovely day.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.